Let's have a look. Okay. Guys, welcome to everyone. Great to see everyone all over all the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and the people joining us here also on Zoom. Guys, if you're watching somewhere online and you want to be part of the chat, part of the whole interaction with Lachlan as well, don't forget you can register to these live trading rooms on our website under the webinar section. Keep an eye out for that. And we're going to dive right in. Lachlan is going to show us some interesting things. I think Lachlan mentioned earlier that the markets are angry today. The markets are angry, so we're going to have a very, very interesting session. Listen carefully, take notes, learn a lot, and have fun. And we will see you later.
Flip side.
Yeah,
oh, that's perfect, Alan. Thank you very much. So, hi, ladies and gents. Lockie here. I hope you are absolutely magic, guys. I'm going to share my. Let me share my screen with you if I can. Now, you guys should be able to see this screen popping up. Let me just double check that is working. That is working properly. So, ladies and gents, I hope that you are very, very well. Hope that you're very, very well. That said, we're in for a very, very interesting day, guys. The markets are angry. The markets are angry. Now, let me just do your chat. Make sure that you can see. Make sure you can see what I can see. The flip side of the chat. Guys, naturally, you'll be able to go to chat to everybody and do whatever you need to do. That one. Perfect. So, guys and girls, all I would ask in the chat, again, please keep it wonderfully complimentary, as in there's lots of people in the session today from lots of different places in the world. So we're going to be rolling, guys, as we do every Thursday, guys, every Thursday between now and the end of the year. So that being said, I'll just grab some microphones and make sure that people can talk and do what they need to do.
Hi, Mike. How are you? Hi, everyone.
Very good, very good. So, guys and girls, welcome to the webinar. My name is Lockie. I'm going to be running through the session with you today. As now, that being said, we're also running through the session, guys. It should be every Thursday between now and Christmas. Actually, you're probably laughing. Christmas, as if you're into Christmas, is only around 11 weeks away. So suffice to say, it's not that far away at all. Now, my point being is we're going to be talking about day trading today. A very, very exciting to mention to everybody that the US close live trading room is now open and going quite well. As they got a big bank of winning trades this morning. So if you are into the US close, guys, if you're into the US close trading session, as may I suggest, it's going to be a lot of fun. That's being run by Fred, guys. We've got a number of backup moderators that are either ready to go or in training. So therefore, that's going to prove to be very, very good for those that enjoy the US close. G'day, Dave. How are you? No, you're 100%, Dave. You're 100%. So, ladies and gents, as you'll probably pick very, very quickly, guys, I've had to switch trading schools. It's effectively, guys, trading's going really, really well. So we've flicked across to a different trading school. Suffice to say, it's onward and upwards. There's some very good reasons for that to have occurred, but suffice to say, as we're here now, and we're not difficult to find, guys. We're not difficult to find at all. So that being said, guys, we're going to be doing the LTR trial today. There's a lot of compliance I do need to go through because we are going to be running through multiple jurisdictions. So first and foremost, today we're going to be talking about trading futures. Some of you are trading CFD, so I do need to mention that there are risks, guys. There's a risk of making money and also losing money every time you take a trade in the financial markets. Now, because CFDs, options and futures, I should say, are all traded on margin, it means we do borrow a little bit of money every time we take a trade. What does that ultimately mean? As you can make money quite quickly, you can also lose it quite quickly. And as a result of that, guys, we do have to be careful. What you will find today, guys, is we will be 100% into risk control, so 100% into risk control. So I will define for you the risk on every trade, the potential reward. I will be asking you to stretch your targets out as far as possible. The whole intent behind doing that is to make sure that we are in a really, really good place. Okay, now, That being said, guys, everything we're going to do today is general information only. Also, the past performance of any financial product cannot be used as a guide to future performance. We used to be able to do that. It was only around about 5 years ago. We used to be able to do that, but we're not allowed to do that anymore. So the fund police have, dare I say it, the fund police, particularly in Australia and the UK, have basically put that rule into place. Now, we do have to talk about market risk factors. As ultimately, there's a lot of text there. What does it effectively say? It effectively says that I'm going to be running my live charts on my local internet connection. You'll be running your charts on your internet connection. As there might be a difference between the two. So I'm going to do my best to get you into as many trades as I possibly can. As there's no guarantee you'll be able to enter at the price that I enter. There's also no guarantee you'll be able to get out where I get out. Mind you, as in saying that, it's a double-edged weapon if you can, all right? So occasionally people get in at better prices than I do and get out at better prices than I do. So it's not all doom and gloom, guys and girls. All these, it's what we call CCNs, or customer caution notices. It looks like doom and gloom. It's not. It's actually quite exciting. Now, guys, in a nutshell, effectively, I have moved trading schools, guys, which obviously I'm allowed to do. That being said, I'm the CTO and lead trader now for Samurai in Singapore. Suffice to say, guys, more importantly, there's a lot of text on this slide. I have had an opportunity to do this since the 1st of August 2007. I've had an opportunity to speak internationally. I was in the Army for 15 years. I think the most important thing is to take away from the session today. I'm a father of 3, a husband of a keto, a passionate educator, and I'm an adrenaline sport enthusiast. Okay, so for those of you that are with Samurai, guys, tonight I will be running a quick update webinar for you. So make sure, guys, for those that are in Samurai already, make sure you check your emails, as we're going to be having a quick little powwow about 30 minutes after this session. Now, as what we're going to be doing, quick revision of what will be occurring in the live trading room. The most important thing about the live trading room, ladies and gents, is not only is there 2 of them, so you'll find that the US closed live trading room is run very, very similar to this. I will be looking for 10 different formats of signals, right? So 10 different formats of signals. Ultimately, we're going to be focusing on 4 wows today as opposed to 3. So last week it was 3, and now it's going to be 4. Basically, guys, candlestick analysis, or CSA, is going to be absolutely huge today. The market, as Alan said, guys, Alan and I did a pre-brief before the session. The markets are actually quite angry today. So therefore, I think if they do sell, it's going to be very impressive. But if they do buy, I think they're going to buy first. They're going to run out of steam again, turn around, and they're going to fall. And when they do fall, there's some really long-range shorts on for us today. Now, interesting, guys and girls, if I can, as we're going to see in the charts, we've got this beautiful correlation. We've got this beautiful correlation, guys, on all of the stock index markets globally. You may not be aware that the S&P 500 actually went for record highs again last night. It's having a lot of trouble sustaining those record highs. So, guys, all of those people that have tried to break the market out to the high side, if the US news comes out at 9:30 p.m. Tokyo time tonight, guys, it's very, very dangerous news. There's four red flag news announcements all in one go. We'll talk about that in a second. But if that news is even a sniff of negative, guys, the market's at 9:30 p.m. Tokyo time tonight. So do your conversion on that. Guys, at 9:30 p.m., the markets are going to plummet. Okay, markets are literally going to plummet. Now, guys, what we're also going to focus on is ratios and static versus dynamic entry. So our advanced traders will be entering dynamically, guys. Our junior traders will be entering statically. Guys, what is the difference? The static traders wait for the candle to close and then put their order into the market. The dynamic traders, guys, tend to bounce off pivots and what we refer to as the evil twins, guys, or the 76 Fibonacci's. We'll also see that right throughout the day. Guys, all the way down the bottom, we are going to be focusing on ABC, and we're also going to be focusing on stair step. The reason we're going to be focusing on those is that generally every single reversal trade we take will be against the step of the market, and every continuation trade will be traded in an ABC style formation. Dave, 30 minutes after the live trading room finishes, right? So exactly, live trading room starts in 20 minutes. So I'm trying to do the time conversion for you, but it's 30 minutes after we finish today, 7 p.m. Queensland. Thank you, Shelton. Brilliant. As we do, and as I've done since the 1st of August 2007, guys, what we're going to be doing is letting the market do all of the heavy lifting. The reason we're going to be doing that is at the end of the day, the markets, because we are futures traders, and everybody around the world sees the same thing at the same time, because we're all trading to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange or the Life Exchange in Germany. Everybody's trading to the same point. As the beauty of that is everybody sees the same thing at the same time. Self-fulfilling prophecies are very strong. If you've got the right Fibonacci on or the right pivots, they're also very, very strong. All right, so we'll be able to use those levels. We'll be able to use those levels to our advantage. Now, when we jump in, guys, the screens you're going to be seeing, top left-hand corner, NASDAQ, bottom left-hand corner, S&P 500, top right-hand corner is the FDAX. And guys, the bottom right-hand corner is the FESX. That's a reference chart only. Right? That's a reference chart only. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the NASDAQ goes very, very fast. As probably an intermediate level chart if you're entering dynamically. It is a really good chart for beginner traders, guys, if you're entering statically. S&P is good for everybody, and FDAX, you got to be careful on the risk. So I'm going to guide you. I'm going to guide you through that as we roll. Now, the flip side, guys, of that, what to expect in the session today, if I can. Let me just move this camera around a little bit. Guys, I will turn the camera off as we get to the actual live presentation itself to make sure that you guys have got full screens of charts. What we're going to be doing, guys and girls, is we're going to be focusing on profit first and education second. So if you are brand new to this session, typically speaking, the session, we get a bit of a shotgun start, so it runs really, really fast for around about 35 minutes. Normally at the 45-minute mark, most of the experienced traders will stop trading and take a break for around about 15 minutes. Daniel, how are you? Hope you're fantastic. Guys, that 15 minutes is a really, really good time to ask questions. Now, a number of the traders that will be in the live trading rooms this afternoon, guys, or tomorrow morning during the US close, most of those traders or some of the bigger traders have been around for about 12 years. So guys, if you see signals coming through or people saying, hey, I did this or I did that, and you see the profit coming through, just be advised, guys and girls, that they are they've got at least 12 years experience with me, so they know what they're doing. We will be targeting a 90% strike rate today, guys. Now, we target a very, very high strike rate because what it does is it concurrently builds a very, very strong psychology around not only the strategy, the indicators we're using, but also our approach to trading. So for those of you that are new to the session, one of the hardest things to build in the game of trading is a positive psychology. One of the fastest ways to build a positive psychology is to take winning trades, just back to back to back to back winning trades. Suffice to say, guys, that's why we focus on a 90% strike rate. What it does mean for everybody in today, if I call a signal, guys, it's got an over 90% strike rate. So we don't call any signals that are less than 90%. There is a particular signal on the FDAX, which if we get today, I'll point it out, as it runs at well over 98% strike rate. All right, so we get that right almost every time. There's obviously, if it's 98% right, it's 2% wrong. Suffice to say, we generally don't get the wrong ones. Now, guys, I am posting videos, guys, onto YouTube every day. So I'm currently, guys, being tasked by the Samurai team to build the Samurai Day Trading YouTube channel. So I'm basically starting, guys, that channel only started a couple of weeks ago. So suffice to say, it's building slowly. It will build quite quickly, right? So if you do want to follow what we're doing, we put up a video every day on, this is the trade of the day, and this is why it was so good. Guys, it's a great way to get your head around what we do. And also, obviously, the videos on YouTube are completely free for those that like a little bit of free steering and critique and education. Now, guys, as the channel develops, there's going to be a ton of information going onto that channel, particularly, guys, interviews with really, really successful traders. Those people I have been working with for 4 to 5 months out to 12 years. Suffice to say, it was really good opportunity to jump on there and just listen to the stories. And if you're inspired by what they're doing, absolutely brilliant. Now, Damsey, how are you? So, guys, as people log into the LTR, I'm just watching who's logging in so I can turn on particular microphones. Now, as I do that, I'm going to grab Damsey's mic as I'm talking. As the reason being is that there are some very, very experienced traders in the session with us today. So I'm just turning on. I've just turned on George. The reason I'm turning these mics on, guys, is if I'm about to make a mistake, right? So I'm watching, obviously, a lot of stuff going on. If I'm about to make the mistake, or the boys can actually critique me in a certain way, or the girls can add something to what I'm doing, then you will hear another microphone turn on. Ahmed might say, hey, Lockie, you're into a 15-minute chart static bar reversal, or watch the 161.8 fear balls. So, guys, we basically, and the reason this occurs, guys, is we basically hunt as a pack, we trade as a family. So what does it mean? At the end of the day, the goal is that everybody makes money out of the trading session, regardless of how advanced you are. Now, if you're brand new to trading, guys, please watch, listen, and learn. If you're experienced, and I'm more than happy for you to take any trade that I discuss and any trade you would normally trade yourselves. Please note, guys, I'm going to try and maximize my profit on every single trade that we speak about. The reason we're going to do that is we want to achieve well over a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, guys, when everything falls into alignment. I will say, ladies and gents, if I can, a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio is a bit of a misdemeanor in the game of trading. A lot of people think if I can get a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, I'm going to trade really, really well. Today, we will end up in situations where the risk to reward ratio may be 1:30 or 1:40 times in our favor. So 1:1 was like really good 15 years ago. It's no longer, guys, it's no longer good. So anyway, we'll engineer that as we need to. Also, guys and girls, if I can mention a point, guys, I will be mentioning quite a few trades today, particularly on the FDAX on the opening candle. Please be advised that if a trade is over your risk profile, please don't let me romance you into taking a trade. So I'll do my best, guys. I'll do my best to guide you as best as I can. Please, as I said, don't let me romance you into taking a trade that is not for you. Now, I'm going to flick across, guys, I'm going to flick across to the charts. Let me just move these cameras around a little bit. I just want to make sure, ladies and gents, that everybody can now see charts as opposed to seeing PowerPoint. Yes, we're on charts. Okay, great. So, guys, we've got 14 minutes. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. We've got 14 minutes until the gun goes. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the US markets, and then we go from there. Steve, thank you, man. I'll jump on that. So bottom left-hand corner, ladies and gents, couple of observations, if I can, on the S&P, and a wow observation, as a wow observation, if you don't mind. Let's have a look at the S&P in the bottom left-hand corner. Can everybody see that 233 fib extension? All right, so typically, if the S&P is going to run out of steam anywhere, it runs out at the 233 or the 300 fib extension if there's a big move, right? If there's a big move on. So please note also at the top, guys, the NASDAQ has actually also run out of steam at the 233 fib extension. Now, where this becomes a little interesting is the FDAX, guys, has run out of steam at the 161.8 extension. Now, what does this all mean? Guys, it means that the US markets are moving in perfect synergy with each other. The Europeans are off doing their own thing. Right? So they're just off. Basically, the Europeans gone a little bit free range. We'll talk about why they've done that in a second. It's probably the high impact US news, guys, that's on tonight. Now, I will put with the S&P, guys, these little notes I'll put on the screen for you here. The S&P explored record highs last night, and effectively at this stage, they're not doing a very good job of holding those record highs. So if we do get another really, really nice buy, guys, on the American markets tonight, it could be off the back of the news and they can't break and hold those highs. We're looking at a really, really big short coming in across all of the markets simultaneously. Now, in terms of volatility, guys, I do want to mention, if I can, that the volatility as we come into the European Open is very, very low. All right. So last time we ran this exact session on a Thursday, as the volatility indicator over here on the left-hand side was running at 8. Today, it's running at 4. Now, what that ultimately means is, unlike last Thursday, the news was not that important, so everybody was happy to trade and do what they were told. Whereas today, the news is very, very important, so we might find as the market basically pops out of the gate, tries to run in a direction, turns around, fails, goes back down to the 50% of the day, and effectively stops. Now, if we are in for a quiet session, so if we do get a quiet session today, then we are going to be, so again, we'll probably run well for around about 35 to 40 minutes, and then it's all going to stop. Right? So now, mind you, pros and cons of that, guys. If the market does slow down, that's a really, really good opportunity to answer questions for everybody. If the market does, speed up, it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal session. Now, as I would suggest, if I can, not that we're into forecasting a great deal, but what I do believe the markets are going to do, the markets are going to try and go long. That's not going to go very well for them, and then going to turn and go short. Okay, so again, relying on the S&P 500 to now predict what the NASDAQ is going to do, as I would watch for the 90% fib retracement on both US markets. Right now, at this point in time, we'd need to draw our Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down. Right, so let me just go and grab the chart for you. Okay, let me just go and grab this chart. Okay, I'm going to put this one here, this one here. All right, so for those that are watching the 60-minute chart, which is a really, really good filter, nice for what these guys are going to do. There's my 60-minute chart Fibonacci extension. So I would believe, guys, today, if they're honoring the 60-minute fibs really accurately, if they're honoring that, then as a result, I think we're going to be running 60-minute fib retracements. So what we're going to be doing, guys, and a little lesson for everybody, if I can, always draw your Fibonacci from left to right. So the spine of your Fibonacci, we're always going to draw them up to catch them on the way down, guys, and vice versa. So what your Fibonacci looks like tonight, we're drawing a Fibonacci up as to catch them on the way down, and we're going to go and have a look and see if that's holding. Now, the moment we do that, as we've clearly got these guys mucking around the 38 Fibonacci, they've tried to get to the 50 Fib. That looks pretty good, guys. That looks pretty good at the moment. The flip side of that argument, guys, if I can get rid of this for a moment, and this is probably what they're actually trying to do, there will be a Fibonacci that runs from here to here. Okay, there will be a Fibonacci that runs from there to there. So that's the low point, that's the high point. Now, what we might find is again, these guys might be failing at the 90% Fibonacci. This is what I mean by watch the 90s. If I expand this out for you here, you can see that these guys are shot beyond the Fibonacci. They've turned back around. Now they're getting stuck, guys, on this 90% Fibonacci. So we're going to have to watch, guys, those closer Fibonaccis. We'll have to watch the closer ones, ultimately, because if we don't explode to the downside, so if we do explode to the downside, we're going to use bigger fibs. But if we are stuck inside a really, really tight trading range, we're going to be using smaller ones. Now, today, guys, because we have no news in our trading session, today might actually end up being a very, very technical trading day, right? Very technical day. So bouncing off Fibonacci's primarily. Now, across to the FDAX, if I can. The first thing I would point out to the FDAX traders is last night you guys were trading around that 161.8 Fib extension. So literally you can see that these guys have pushed up, they've gone climactic. That mustard green candle is hiding behind there. That little mustard green candle means that they used an extreme amount of volume to get to that level. They've also used an extreme amount of volume to get above it, couldn't hold above it. They've gone above it. Now they're stuck below it. So what does that ultimately mean, guys? I think Europe is set for really, really lovely shorts, right? So I think we're going to be going short. But before we go short, guys, I would suggest that we're going to go long first, right? So a couple little briefing points, if I can, before we get down to the FESX. All right, first things first. First things first for the FDAX traders, we have a gap to close to the high side. Andy, how are you? Hope you're amazing. Ahmed, well done on that trade. We have the gap to close to the high side here. Now, traditionally and mathematically, the FDAX is going to have to turn around and do that. Okay, now, it may not do that straight away. That is a very, very strong reversal bar, guys, on the NASDAQ. Sorry, as I watch it. That is an ABC reversal. As in our little introduction, we were talking about an ABC, the trade, we trade ABC stair step, as that is an ABC reversal to the high side, guys, leading into our open, right? So just keep a very, very close eye, guys, on the American markets. They might want to try and go early. Now, typically, the FDAX will turn around, guys, and go and close the gap. Now, there's no guarantee that's going to occur, so please don't put a buy order on the FDAX assuming that it's going to go to the high side, because it may go down first before it turns around and comes back the other way. Now, the flip side of that, for those that normally trade with me, there's an absolutely amazing reversal signal, guys, set up with that tiny little candle there, guys, and this little candle here called an SBR. So my chart has already labeled that as a static bar reversal. Guys, so we're basically in reversal mode. There's a couple of reversals we're going to be keeping our eye on. Guys, that one and that one. So for the FDAX traders, guys, if we shoot down on open, we can't go down and we come back up. The FDAX traders who do trade the opening candle, and once again, guys, please don't let me romance you into taking that trade. You've got a long, guys, on the FDAX setting up at 378. So your long will be at 378 with a target of 383, so 5-point targets. Guys, and you've got another long setting up at 379 for 384. Okay, so just to prepare, if you're an opening candle trader, that's what you're looking for. Now, the flip side, guys, the opening candle can be a little bit relentless on the FDAX, so please do be careful. Guys, I'll guide you through it as best I can. The other thing we're looking for, guys, on the FDAX as we cruise down, excuse me, we're looking for correlation, guys, between Fibonacci extension. So the FDAX is famous for shooting down to this level just here, which is the 133 fib extension. If we do shoot below the 133, typically it'll shoot down, tag the 141.4 and go back the other way. Only if you are an experienced trader would you be looking to take a long at 352 once we have shot under that level. So guys, please don't put a buy order on at 352 now. The sellers must sell down underneath that level, grab you, turn around and go back the other way. Okay, now 5 minutes until the gun goes. In fact, it goes 4 minutes and 20 seconds until the gun goes. So please make sure that you are trading. Please make sure that you are trading, guys, the appropriate account. If you're trading live today, switch live. If you're trading in sim, switch sim. If you're copy trading, guys, make sure the copy trading account is set up correctly. Remy, you've just taken an SBR long for 50 ticks. Perfect trade. Thank you. So this, guys, this here, so this little, for those that are not familiar with what we do, that little SBR there is a static bar reversal. The next candle after it is an even better entry. So if we were to shoot down, guys, on the NASDAQ, okay, below this level, below that level on open, we may be picking up a repeat of these signals. Right? So you guys, for those that have been here before, you know exactly what to do with that. Now, as we roll in, guys, we do have to look at the FESX. So quickly, what have we got time-wise? 3 minutes, so that's a lot of time. Oh, Kenneth, you got it for 40 ticks, mate. That's an absolutely beautiful trade. So it's really exciting to see that you guys are understanding, guys, how to trade. That's brilliant because, ironically, nothing has changed, guys, since early 2009. so well done. Now, the flip side of that, guys, the S&P volume at this point in time is 36,000. That's quite low for our session. So we're looking at probably 6 to 8 really good trades, guys, as opposed to 10 to 12. If the volume lifts, obviously the number of trades will lift. For the S&P 500 traders, guys, again, if you sell down, again, below key market levels, right? Now, everybody knows how to do this, right? So you've got a number of trades I would be interested in. Guys, that one and that one there. Okay, now particularly that little SBR there, guys, has even got a label on it saying, please reverse off this, and that's already started to move to its targets. Now, what we do have to be aware of, guys, if we go to the FESX on the daily chart, okay, can everybody see the big green candle here is closed up here? Then the sellers have actually sold down. It is highly likely that these guys will climb back the other way. Now, the reason that the buyers are probably going to be weak on Europe today, guys, they've already triggered their reversals. Let's double check. They've already triggered 2 reversals long. So if they can't gallop to the high side, guys, they're going to be punished. And this is how the punishment is going to occur. Just quietly. Can everybody see the little square I put on the chart for you there? That is a ratio-based SBR short on the 4-hour chart. So what does it mean, guys? It means that the short trades on FDAX today, let me quantify that. The short trades are going to run harder than the long trades. So don't be surprised if we push up first, turn around, come back down, and we absolutely plummet. Now, just be aware, guys, of your risk control on FDAX as we come into the open of the session. Just make sure you got the right ATMs loaded. For those that haven't watched this before in this session, once the FDAX trade moves 5 points into our favor, which is 125 US dollars or 200 Australian dollars, we cut the risk off on the trade and we let the profit run. Okay, that's how we control our risk to reward. Now, that being, Murray, how are you, mate? I hope you're fantastic. As now, the Europeans love to go to the 50 fib on the 4-hour chart. So if we do sell down, guys, we know exactly where we're going. And if we do sell down, we're going to trigger longs. So it's going to be quite a complicated little day. As I said to Arlen when we came in, guys, and again, thank you to the TTP guys for having me run this session. Guys, they are looking, guys, they look like they want to go long first and then go short, but let's not second guess what the market does. All right, so let's make these candles nice and fat. Okay, nice and fat. For those trading a little bit later on tonight, please watch 9:30 p.m. Tokyo time. It will be violent, guys. Four very, very heavy news announcements coming out. For the FDAX traders, you got 21 seconds until the gun goes. As you may have a new Fibonacci extension now. Okay, note that the stair stepping is occurring in the market. This candle is already mustard green. As the candle is already mustard green, and as a result of your Fibonacci looks like this. So it's already mustard green. So don't be surprised if they shoot down, guys. It'll be pretty shallow. All right, there's the shallow shot. There is a pre-market reversal long, guys, if you trade it. Guys, if you trade it at 63, guys, I'm just trying to put that order on myself at 63. If you are going to go long at 63, guys, if you are going to go long at 63, your first target is 68. All right, so if you are going to go long at 63, you're already out, guys, on your first target. So if you're long at 63, guys, your first target is 68. Apologize for the shotgun start, guys. This is what we were expecting. Second target on FDAX, guys, you're going for 10 points, or the more experienced traders can go for the top of the chart. If you're long at 63, guys and girls, your first target is 68. Your second target is 73. Both of my targets have been taken out in the background for a 5 and 10 point trade on the FDAX. So if you were, guys, if you were on that, guys, note the Fibonacci failure very early in the candle. Very, very early. If you were able to get on that, brilliant. Let's check the larger Fibonacci, guys, to see if they're doing what they normally do. So
it had a 5-minute extension there to the point there. Look,
yeah, mate, that's what I'm looking for. Ah, look at this. Guys, what number did I say we're going to fail at? The 133 extension. Wow. So the FDAX has gone and done it again. So fancy that. Now, the next trade on FDAX, guys, the next trade on FDAX could be a 76 fib reversal. S&P 500 traders, you may have gone low enough, guys, to be picked up on your static bar reversal long. Now, if you have gone low enough, guys, your entry price as your entry, in fact, you can go the lower SBR. So your entry price is at 36 and a quarter. Your first target is 37 and a quarter. All right, first target 37 and a quarter. NASDAQ, you've gone low enough to pick up the higher of those two static bar reversals, the one I put the arrow on. All right, so if you have gone long on the NASDAQ, guys, at 40.75, you guys are cruising at the moment. So please do stay long if you're on the NASDAQ long. Now, FDAX traders, again, for those that haven't been to the session before, generally the primary focus of the first sort of 3 or 4 minutes will be the FDAX, and then we bring it across. Christian, you got 510 on the FDAX pre-market box. I'm Dan G. I'm on the wrong link. Okay. Mate, can you send me Dan G's email, please? Can you send me his email, and I'll try and fix that on the run. That's quite an adventure to fix on the run. But we will do our best, mate. We'll do. If you can send that to me privately, mate. Otherwise, he's going to get many emails. That'd be brilliant. Now, guys, if the FDAX buys, so we're going to watch the FDAX very, very carefully now. If the FDAX does buy, we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that now. A worry for now. Okay, mate. Christian, fantastic. Can do. So the FDAX guys, we're expecting them to buy. Now, if they run out of steam, if the buyers run out of steam, we are going to pick up a 76 fib reversal on the FDAX. Now, again, guys, we're into the last 90 seconds of the candle, so we're going to be a little bit careful now. Being careful too, the 76 fibs, guys, don't give you enough room to actually pull your target out before the open. So the FDAX traders are actually better off at this point in time, waiting for this candle to close. We're looking for a pre-top reversal, right? So pre-market top reversal, which is up here. We want that to occur inside the new candle. We're going to keep a very close eye, guys, on the FESX down the bottom. The reason being is if the FESX closes outside its pre-market box, right? So if it closes above the pre-market box, we've got to be careful. I've got to be careful going short everywhere. All right, now let's have a look. These guys are blowing their volume. Round number through the FESX today of 5,000. That will act as an additional pivot for the FESX. So as we cruise through, guys, 22 seconds or so until the candle closes. Beck, how are you? I hope you're brilliant. I saw that Papua New Guinea has closed the Kokoda Trail, Beck, for the moment. So you got an opportunity to do that last year. You're very lucky it's closed now. So nobody's doing the Kokoda at the moment. So you've done very, very well. Now let's have a look, guys. So FDAX. there is a 76 fib reversal trade coming up. Now, if you trade off the 76 fib reversal, guys, it would be amazing if we got a 90% reversal. It would be even more amazing if we got a pre-market box. Please make sure, guys, for the FDAX, you wait for the higher high to be created, and then you're looking to enter under the levels. Now, the better of the reversals, guys, will be the pre-market box. So you guys have got a match high now, which will attract some of you into the market. Some of you are going to look for a higher high. Now, if you are a pre-market box reversal trader, guys, your short's at 87. Your first target is at 82. All right, if you use a double top, guys, versus a higher high, some of you wait for the higher high, guys, because you want a higher success rate on your trades. Now, NASDAQ, buyers own the stair step. So you guys are looking for reversals short. Okay, you're looking for reversals short. There's not a lot I can give you here, guys. It's really clean on the NASDAQ just yet. Okay, nothing yet. If you're aggressive, guys, there are trades. If you're not aggressive, there's no trades. Now, FDAX traders, for those that trade off the pre-market box, if you're short at 87, your first target is 82. You're through your targets. Your second target is 77. Right, so please control your risk on the FDAX so you have no risk at all, please. But guys, bring your stop loss to -1, so your risk to reward ratio is actually 10 times in your favor. You've got a 10-point second target. Guys, your 10-point second target is at 77. You've now got 1 point at risk to make 10 points. Now, I was going to turn my camera off, wasn't I? So guys, let me turn the camera off quickly, just so you get more chart space. All right, so no one's got any risk. Guys, no one's got any risk on the FDAX, please. If you were going through the first target, guys, your first target is 382. If you've gone through the first target, then obviously you've smashed your target, which is fantastic. Again, this may be the buying campaign on the American markets that burns out really quickly, particularly if the FDAX burns out. Right, so you see the buyers are coming back through on the FDAX, guys. They are not burning their volume yet, so they've still got a bit of fuel in the tank. If you are short off the pre-market box, guys, at 87, then obviously you've gone through your first target. First target's 82. You're back on 82 again. So the FDAX traders, you're off to a reasonable start. If anybody did trade either of these pre-market these pre-market reversals long, if you've traded either of those as well with the prices I gave you of 379, guys, you've also gone through your targets depending on how you pull the FDAX apart. What it could be, we've just got to wait to get under the pivot. So again, we're looking to go short, guys, on the American markets. At the moment, these guys are caught in a whole lot of junk. So we've just got to be careful that we don't get caught on the wrong side of the market. FDAX, I think you've had 2 opportunities to reverse off the pre-market box already. So just remember, guys, we don't reverse more than 3 times off the same level. It's normally the third one that squeezes the lemon juice in your eye. So, and we're also coming very close to the last 90 seconds. Right? So for the FDAX traders or those watching what we do, we typically don't take a new trade on the FDAX in the last 90 seconds. That will increase our success rate by 17% for the mathematicians out there that love mathematics. Sheldon, FDAX SBR reload +5 times 2 +6 times 2. Well done. Nathan is still long. Perfect. So for the more experienced traders, you've basically gone long at the pre-market. You're going to try and hold that trade for up to 15 minutes as a minimum, please. If the FESX, this is for everybody. If the FESX closes above the pre-market top, then we're going to see sustained buying coming in. If it gets stuck, we're going to see selling. So everybody now on even the NASDAQ is saying, right, well, where are these guys getting stuck at? I'm going to rip that fib off. I'm going to rip that fib off, clean up the NASDAQ slightly. We are watching for a 90% fib retracement, guys, on the US markets before they go crazy. If any of the NASDAQ traders, guys, can see anything that I can't see, FDAX, you might be setting up a 76 fib reversal based on this rejection. So those that wait for the higher high, guys, if you wait for the higher high and then go short, the FDAX has gone through its profit targets again. All right, so you guys are not having a bad run on the FDAX today so far. Now, for the FDAX traders, guys, if you are at your daily KPI already, so guys, I picked up a 5 and a 10. I picked up a 5 and a 10. That's just under 800 US dollars for me already. So I'm pretty happy with how that's going. So I'll wait for the next trade because I won't take many more than that. 800 US in the best part of 10 minutes is not a bad little way to start the day. Right now, US, we're going to, guys, this S&P, the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are just confused, guys. They are literally confused. If you picked up the long we spoke about at the start of the session, then that's obviously gone quite well. If you've picked up a short failure, guys, off this pre-top, that's also gone quite well. For the junior traders, guys, you may not have gone short up here because you're trading back into a pivot, then another pivot, then another pivot. I'd suggest the NASDAQ's about to break out, guys, and when it breaks out, it's actually going to be quite good fun. Shelton, the SBR on FTX took off very quickly. It did, mate. It is valid. It's an interesting point. Nathan, guys, is long from the bottom of the chart. The flip side of being long, guys, if the FTX can't break out and run, guys, at the 10-minute mark, if it doesn't produce that 15-minute rally, it is going to turn and come back the other way, which is exactly what has just occurred. All right, so the FTX looks like, I said to Arlen when we came in today, and again, thank you to the Trading Pit. I said to Arlen, guys, that markets are angry. All right, so I do think, guys, I've got the comment here on the FTX. I think we're going to get an early buy on Europe. It's going to fail, and then they're going to plummet. That's what I believe they're going to do. Now, mind you, we don't get that right every time. NASDAQ traders, guys, you've just come back into the trading zone for this static bar reversal here. Okay, now note that the sellers have just stolen the stair step on the NASDAQ. So if you have picked up the static bar reversal, guys, particularly the lower of those two static bar reversals, as you are long at the moment already. Okay, your entry price is at 439. You're looking to control your risk at the 10 or 12 tick mark, right? The 10 or 12 tick mark. Now, again, guys, let me quantify that for those people that don't do what we do just yet. All right, this is a 10 tick box or a $50 US box on the NASDAQ. If anybody's gone long, guys, over there on that little static bar reversal, goes around the 79 mark, that has already moved at least 50, 60, 70 US dollars into profit per contract traded. This is where I would say to you guys, knock your first target out, bring your stop loss to positive so you can't lose any money on the trade. If they are going to turn now, awesome. If they're not going to turn, it doesn't actually matter. Okay, it doesn't actually matter. Okay. So what we're going to do, guys, because again, the markets are angry, is we're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the sellers over the buyers. So that means that if you are long, guys, if you are long at that exact price of 439, they've gone through your first target, right? Now you've controlled your risk, so you can't lose any money on the trade. I'd suggest your stop loss, guys, would be at 439.75. S&P 500, you've gone low enough to reset your SBRs again. So I'm expecting all of the S&P 500 traders, guys, to be long on the green SBR over here that I put the circle on around 15 minutes ago. Guys, if you are long on the SBR at 35.5, your first target is 36.5, and you were tickering on 36.5 a second ago. Now, if the markets fall, guys and girls, if the markets fall, it's going to be brutal. Okay, like brutal. So we're going to be joining the sellers if they do decide to tumble. Right? So the loyalty today is for long range sells. And if you are going to be buying against this angry mentality, guys, short first targets, tight risk control, lock them off. If it runs, it runs. If it doesn't matter. All right, now this FESX, guys, this FESX is looking very, very cranky. Okay, very cranky. So if you did pick up the SBR, guys and girls, the first time through, that's gone quite well. If you're now waiting for lower lows to be created, then that's also going quite well. The flip side, we're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. Is my mic on? Yes, my mic is definitely on. Let me jump on that. Yes, Murray. Yep. Now, guys and girls, if we close, okay, perfect. Thanks, Matty. If we close below the pivot, guys, on the NASDAQ, guys, it's all over for the buyers. Like that's it. It's going to be a massacre. So just be careful. We're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. In fact, someone would say, well, the last 13 seconds of the candle. This is where sometimes junior traders can get caught out. All right. So the sellers own the stair step. We know that. If we hold above the pivots, we may be reloading the longs, but with very short range targets. Okay. NASDAQ, you've gapped into the pivots, which means no new trades, right? No new trades. FDAX, you have closed outside the range of your pre-market box, right? Closed outside the range of your box. So you cannot go long, guys, unless you are super advanced, all right? So for the junior traders, we're kind of sitting on our hands at this point in time. I would suggest at this stage, guys, now I had an arrow on before for the FDAX. It was pointing down to this 100 extension, right? If the FDAX sells down, guys, it's going to go for the 100 extension. So the best trade we're going to get on the FDAX, guys, will be a 100 extension reversal or a tag of the previous pivot. If we do get a tag of the PP, guys, previous pivot, we are going to be going for long range targets. Okay, so for the FDAX traders, we'll just get ready for all of that to unfold. We know about the gap at the top. We know about these sell points. This is a collapse point in the market, guys. Oh, interesting. Look at this. FDAX has basically tried to close above this point inside the cash market and failed. So that says to me they're going to collapse. FDAX traders, if you trade shorts, right, you do have a valid short. Guys, the valid short is at, if you can hold the risk, guys, the valid short is at 56. Your first target is 51. You're just going to have to be very, very careful, guys, on the FDAX with the risk, please. All right, so if you are short on FDAX, your first target and risk control point is 51. Right, I think it's going to get touched a number of times. Guys, now again, just watch the risk, guys. Just watch the risk. Now, that being said, you've got a 4-point turning bar short, very, very strong candle, gap down, nice retrace to the 38, retrace, then a rejection. Very, very likely, guys, this is going to turn down if you can hold the risk on the trade. Right, so I'd suggest it's going to pummel that black line, but probably only once, guys, probably only once. Now, where is that probably only once coming from? Guys, if we draw the Fibonacci up, guys, on the big one, okay, on the FESX, these guys are wrestling at their 90% Fibonacci. This is where I'm expecting guys to pick up the big reversals, guys, down at the 90%ers. Now, speaking of that, for the NASDAQ traders, you guys can't get below your pivot. So if the bottom of that candle, guys, corresponds to a Fibonacci, okay, I'm working on this as quickly as I can. All right, let's catch these guys. Right. If you we're going to watch very, very closely, guys, for a Fibonacci reversal off the 76s and then the 90. Okay, we're going to be watching for that. The Europeans, so the FESX, the FESX looks like the sellers are losing control. So for those that are short on the FDAX, guys, you have got basically 15 seconds to go through your 5-point target. Come on, Daxy. You guys are at 4 points worth of profit. Your first target, there's your first target now. So risk control on FDAX, please. Guys, if you're short at 56, your first target's 51. You've just gone through your first target. Guys, they're either going to kiss and touch or kiss and run. All right. So at the moment, we're kiss and touch. So for the FDAX traders, if you're short under the 4-point turning bar, first target's 5-point. Risk to positive, please. Can't lose any money. If it runs, it runs. If it doesn't matter. Or guys, you can take all your contracts out at 5 points and we'll just wait for the next trade. Murray, you're back. Well done, mate. Good to have you. Good to have you back. Right, FDAX traders, guys, you're short. You've obviously gone through your target. If you can hold your risk behind the retrace, guys, if you can hold your risk behind the retrace. It's going to be all over to the big boys and girls, guys. So bottom left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner. What do they want to do? If the FESX closes below its pre-market box, guys, these European markets are going to tumble. Dan, KPIs met on the FDAX, mate. Very excited to have you in the room, mate. Well done. Well done. KPIs met. Brilliant. Wes, okay, nothing wrong with that trade, mate, nothing wrong with that trade. The flip side of being long on the S&P, Flip side of being long on the S&P, mate, we're keeping an eye on the FESX. What we don't want is the FESX to close below the line it's bouncing off at the moment. Okay, so you see these guys fighting in the last 10 seconds of the candle, right? They've gapped up to the high side. Okay. So around the traps, NASDAQ, you can't go long, right? So you can't go long because you're under a pivot. S&P, you can't go long because you're under a pivot, but there's nothing wrong with the long. Mate, if you have gone long off the 76s, there's nothing wrong with that. What I would have preferred, again, FYI, is that you were long over the top of the gap. Right now, you may have gone long over the top of the gap anyway at 54.75. Mate, if you have your risk control point is 35.25, which is this black line on my chart here. Okay. So there's nothing wrong mathematically with your trade, but I would just want to make sure there's nothing in the way stopping these guys buying. Right now, the big gap up, right, this gap up on the FESX over here is a big hint that these guys might be turning and running. Okay. So guys, again, some of you may be over your KPI on the FDAX as I am, guys. So I'm sitting, just to be transparent with everybody, I'm sitting at $795.07. If you took the same trades I did, guys, you would be sitting at exactly the same price. Around about 800 to $1,000, guys. I pull away from trading and focus on moderating so you guys get value out of what we're doing. 800 to $1,000 per day, guys, is not a bad little income. As you can probably imagine. If we do pick up an absolute sitter, guys, I'll jump on that and try and tip myself over $1,000 just to be transparent. Cleanest trade with the pivots. Yeah. That's okay, mate. That's okay. That's all right. Lots of messages coming in, guys, about unexpected news about to come through the market. So if we get any unexpected news, guys, you'll see the candles twitching. You'll see them twitching. Let's just watch for that. Let's just watch for the twitch in the candles. I'm expecting, guys, I'm expecting twitches. All right. I'm expecting twitches at 5 p.m. Tokyo time. So just watch for the twitch. There could be a politician, no offense, but there could be a politician somewhere in the world that's about to say something really silly at 5 p.m. So if it's silly, we'll see the twitching. All right, so FDAX, in summary, no new trades for you guys. No new trades for you guys. In a perfect world, the FDAX trade is for super high probability trade. You are looking for a reversal off the previous pivot. Okay, now the flip side of that, Fibonacci, guys, if the Fibonacci goes like that and then goes like that, okay, you note that these guys love the 133 Fib extension, so we might see a bit of a culmination down here. Confluence. Do we have Cody today, guys? It's Confluence. Cody's a big fan of Confluence. We don't have Cody today, right? He's off and racing. Emma, how are you? I hope you're fantastic. Daniel, all politicians say silly things, mate. That's why I don't listen to them. Because I remember, guys, in the army briefing politicians saying, again, in the army, sir, you can't do what you're planning on doing because it won't work. And the politicians would say, well, we think it'll be good for everyone to see X, Y, Z. And I said, sir, did you hear what I said? It's not going to work. You can't do what you're going to do. Well, guys, interesting. We had a Black Hawk crash. We had a Black Hawk crash in Australia where we lost 14 special forces guys and 3 pilots and so on. So Black Hawk crash was at the back of Townsville, 1990, I believe it was, guys, 1990. 1999, getting ready for the 2000 Olympics. The actual pilots, I'm watching the charts, guys, the pilots actually told the politicians, we cannot achieve what you are trying to achieve. So they basically, we can't do what you want us to do. Politicians said, no, just train and try it anyway. And we lost 13 special forces and 3 pilots and 3 helicopters. So when the politicians say, please go and do it anyway in the army, we just ignore them. Literally go, yeah, okay, thanks, we'll do it our way. And that's the way it's always been, guys. It's the way it's always been. Now, the Europeans, guys, so away from the army, back to the Europeans. The pre-bottom, guys, if we close under the pre-bottom, here, guys, in 30 seconds on the FESX, guys, we're going to see everybody push to the downside. Now, at the moment, the Americans are fighting the Europeans. Jeff, how are you, mate? Great to see you in the LTR. The Europeans are fighting against the Americans. Sorry, Americans are fighting against the Europeans. It comes down to the last 10 seconds, guys. Anyone that's done, any study with me over the last 14, 15 years, it's about the last 10 seconds on a 5-minute chart that basically define what we're going to be doing. So the FESX, guys, so our last 10 seconds has gapped up, right? Gapped up. So therefore, we're going to see some buying coming into the market all over the place. For the FDAX traders, my preference for you, guys, is we get a lower low, right? We get a lower low. They push well through, guys, well through. So down to maybe let me give you a horizontal line. So let's say they push through to there. Was you guys are staring down the barrel of a Fibonacci extension reversal. If you are a dynamic trader, if you're a static trader, you're waiting for them to fail at the pivot and then go back the other way. The higher probability trade, guys, will be a pivot-based reversal, right? So let these guys sell down. Just let them sell down. Let them sell down. Let them sell down. Okay, now where's your 76 fib on S&P 500? At this point in time, it's not all gone, but what we've got to be really careful of, guys, if you're reversing off Fibonacci, but you're back into a pivot, okay, the pivot will be more powerful than the Fibonacci only because less people understand Fibonacci, all right? So less people understand fibs. Now, okay, FDAX traders, if you are a Fibonacci extension trader, you're picking up a long at 336. Right, we have to be really, really on the money with this entry. I so if you are long at 336, your first target is 341. I've just missed that entry, so it's my fault. So it goes, if you trade off the Fibonacci extensions, now again, this would only be for the extension-based traders. So please don't let me talk you into trades. You're long at 336. Your first target is 341. You are 1 point off your first target and risk control point. FDAX, you are just on your first target now of 341. So if you do trade Fibonacci extension, long at 36, first target 41, please. Don't hold risk in case they decide to run down and tag the previous pivot. All right. So FDAX traders, you're targeting that confluence, that agreement between the Fibonacci extensions. Whoa, slow down, Tiger. You are targeting that confluence there. All right, so again, we've gone long over the top, guys, of the 141.4 fib extension with the intent of trading it back to the 100. Okay, now, well done, mate. Well done. So well done, everybody that's getting positive results. That's brilliant. NASDAQ. Now, I said, guys, at the start of the session, we're looking for the 90% fib failure. Now, what does it mean? Some of you have probably seen the NASDAQ fail at the 90% fib, and you've gone long over the top of that 90%. Now, if you've gone long, guys, at 427.50 or around about that point, you're already 20 ticks into profit. So what does that mean, guys? I would make sure that my first contract was out, or if you're going for long range targets, you've got your risk controlled, please. Rob, you got plus 20 off the 90%. Well done. Andy, Heike, you got plus, oh, well done, Heike. 28 points on the FDAX. Holy moly, off the SBR here. Oh, wow. So Heike, that
okay.
is, yes, mate.
It's 5-minute extension. If you can check it. Thank you.
Yep, perfect. Will do. Thank you. So Heike, guys, what I want to highlight, guys, Heike hasn't been trading for very long, but that's a 28-point trade. The beauty of that trade, Heike, is you've entered statically. So you waited for the candle to close and then you entered. That's very exciting, Heike, because I said at the start of the session, beginner traders are going to go static, senior traders are going to go dynamic. Okay. Yeah, Heike, no, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an incredible job. So well done. Okay, FDAX, we're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. Okay, we're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. So for the FDAX traders, this is where you become a little bit allergic. Right? You become a little bit allergic to what's going on. For an FDAX reversal over the previous pivot, guys, we're going to wait for the candle to close, guys, above the pivot, and we're looking for a double touch reversal or a double failure reversal. S&P, so some of you guys on NASDAQ have gone long off the 90. It's already gone through its risk control point and target. If we get an efficient candle short, guys, on the S&P 500, which we're about to get, and the NASDAQ, it means that everybody is looking for shorts right across the board, except for the FDAX. Okay, NASDAQ, you should be about to pick up a short, guys. It's got to be green before red. Okay, oof, that's fast. That's real fast. So again, guys, it's got to be green before red. S&P, you've also got a valid trade. There is no question. I've just got to be careful how close the S&P 500 gets to this blue line here. So NASDAQ traders, if you were able to enter underneath the efficient candle after they flashed green and went red, then you've already gone at least 20 ticks to the downside. Guys, if you've re-entered after the green team showed, you've gone short at 422.50. You've already gone 16 ticks to the downside a second time, guys, which means everybody's going to cut their risk off on the NASDAQ. First target, guys, around about 16 ticks on NASDAQ would be amazing, guys. And if we get a runner, we get a runner. Okay, so again, the long range target, guys, the long range target on NASDAQ is going to be down around that, down around about that 161.8. So, guys, if you're short on NASDAQ, you guys have got a delta on NASDAQ as well. So if you're short on NASDAQ, guys, you're now at least 40 ticks into profit, which is double your daily KPI. S&P 500 traders, you're through the first target as well. FDAX, you need a lower low, guys. You need a lower low, and you need agreement, please, from the FESX. All right, I'm just going to try and manage the NASDAQ as best as I can. So Ahmed, your Fibonacci is brilliant. As it looks like the market is going to run. We were expecting big sells, guys. We're expecting big sells. So please make sure that you are trying to milk the short as much as you can, but you're also being responsible, guys, with your risk control. If we tag the 100 extension, guys, if we tag that 100 extension, which will probably occur in the next 20 to 25 seconds, if it's going to occur, these guys are going to plummet. Guys, if it's not going to occur, we're looking to reverse and go back the other way. All right, so anybody that's short under the bottom of this candle, if you've gone for 20 ticks, you paid, 30 ticks, you paid, 40 ticks, it's tagged your ATM, guys. Done. Well done, Dan. Nice work. Okay, well done, guys. Well done. Now, S&P 500 traders, if you waited for the green and then you went short, your entry is at 31. First target is 30, and you've been paid. Okay, now, if we get static, NASDAQ, FDAX, holy moly. Lower low through the previous pivot. You guys have gone long at 27 or 28. Your first target is 32. Your second target is 38. It looks like you've gone through all your targets on FDAX, guys, as well. 11, 21, 31 short. Amazing ATM, Keith. Well done. Kenneth, 10 and 40 on NQ. Beautiful. Linda, 11 and 17. Well done. FDAX traders, have I got anybody long on the FDAX off the previous pivot, please? Okay, anybody long on the FDAX off the previous pivot? As again, you've got your lower low. As you've got your lower low, your entry is either 27 or 28. If it's 28, guys, you're going for 38 as your longer range target, and you've already touched 40. So Wes, you've had a negative on you've had a negative on the S&P, and that's saying Ali's positive. Okay, here we go. Right, so guys and girls, we are looking at reversals now. We're looking at reversals. If you trade deltas on the NASDAQ, guys, if you trade deltas on the NASDAQ, we may be about to pick up that delta. Okay, I'm going to go back to Ahmed's Fibonacci because Ahmed's has proven to be more accurate than mine. Any FDAX traders long, guys? Any FDAX traders long off the previous pivot? Did anybody get that trade? If you did, you've done very, very well, guys. This looks a lot like, what's it got there? 233 extension failure. Okay. For the FDAX, sorry, NASDAQ traders, if we do get a delta, it's probably going to go back here if we do get that. Matt, you missed it. That's okay. Matt, that's okay. So for the FDAX traders, just so you know, guys, you're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. So don't take the reversal now. We're going to wait to see what the candle does. We need to see the sellers show in the new candle, then the buyers show and push us back up. So if the FDAX traders were able to enter 2 points over the previous pivot, okay, 28, you've gone to your long range target of 38. Right now, if nobody got that trade, guys, what I'm going to do is put a circle on it. Okay, and I'm going to write missed beside it. Right now, these screenshots, guys, again, you can imagine the catalog of screenshots I've got over 14 years. Okay, now it's actually more than 14 years now, guys, around 16 years, but it makes me sound old, so we're not going to focus on that. So if they're actually looking for a lower low, guys, or a match low or a double touch of the previous pivot, in a perfect world, based on the candlesticks there, again, we're looking for, yeah, look, we need a lower low here, guys. The FESX is just gapped down. Okay, so it can either be a lower low, guys, or you can enter outside the range of the active candle, which is a 331 entry, right? So you've got your lower low. What's our little FESX doing? Okay. So FDAX first reversal, if you took it, it's gone really, really well. Second reversal, we're going to have to watch the risk. Okay, second reversal, we're going to have to watch the risk. Let's just watch what they're doing now, because they are starting to outstay that Fibonacci. So guys and girls, I would suggest they're playing this Fibonacci here. It's going to be an ugly fib, guys, but again, the FDAX doesn't mind ugly, right? That's just the way it rolls. That is the fib they're using. Okay, so where's our next major entry point? Guys, look at this. Europe is likely to buy first and sell hard. Yeah.
Lockie, I've got a 60-minute extension down at 306 on DAXI.
Thank you. The legend, guys. So Damsey, a big thank you, guys, for yesterday. So our internet failed. Like literally the whole area went down. Yeah, mate, perfect. Thank you. So the whole area, guys, the whole area went down. So I had to call Damsey in and say, mate, can you please run the live trading room? Again, a massive thank you, guys, to Damsey. And guys, Fred's on the US close. Oh, wow. Okay, that reversal, guys, on FDAX is looking better now with a 60-minute fib on. So if you do get a buying delta on the NASDAQ, guys, if you are a delta trader, again, guys, PVI or volatility is 45. So risk control point is around 10 to 12 ticks. For the FDAX traders, it would be really, really, really smart. Okay, really smart to see these FESX sellers burning their volume. Okay, it is pretty clear that the FDAX is going to try and reverse here. Okay, now again, that 60-minute Fibonacci is brilliant. I would suggest we're going to be a little bit careful here, guys. Here we go. All right, here they come. So if you're being careful on the FDAX, guys, you're waiting for the candle to close. If you're not being careful, guys, you've gone long 2 points over the top at 28. Guys, so you waited for the lower low and then you've gone long. So if you've gone long at 28, guys, on the FDAX, your first target is 33. Okay, 28 through 33. Ahmed, well done. You're being careful on DAX, guys. You're waiting for the candle to close. We're looking for a ratio-based SPR. Okay, looking for a ratio-based SPR. Damsey was great, and I dropped in and said good day to Fred. Oh, Jeff, well done. Yeah, guys, I'm getting a lot of really good feedback on the US close. I can't apologize for the hurricane that's currently going through Florida, guys, but we do have backup moderators, and they're lovely, and therefore that session will continue to push ahead regardless of the hurricanes. Now, guys, for those that are long, thank you, brilliant. Okay, for those that are long, guys, on the FDAX, if you're long at 28, your first target is 33. You're out of target. Your first target. Your second target is 38. Now, guys, we are likely to pick up a really lovely reversal here on the FDAX and FESX. NASDAQ, you guys are reversing off the 233. Now, some of you with experience, guys, may have gone long when you saw this candle push below the 233 extension, then this candle come down and tickle it. You've then gone long over the top of the 200 extension using that Fibonacci to your advantage. Guys, if you've done that, it's gone 10, 20, at least 30 ticks to the high side. So no one's carrying any risk, please. Aaron, well done. Petros, plus 16 on NQ above the climactic candle. Well done. Alan, yeah, look, Fred's lovely. We talk every day. We talk every day. A couple of things needed to change, a couple of fairly strategic things needed to change before we could bring on a US close. Those changes have occurred, and the US close is on, and it's popping along. It's popping along. Now, guys, we're looking for a second candle to close here on the FDAX above the previous pivot. If they close on the pivot or gap under the pivot, guys, we can't trade. Okay, so right, we're right in time, guys. So the FDAX traders are probably going to pick up their last trade here, right? Their last trade, last trade for this hour. It would be really smart to see the sellers push down a little bit. Guys, fail at Fibonacci first before going long. All right, so they've just pushed down, guys. They've just pushed down. They've failed at the 50 fib. If you've gone long again, guys, at 27 or 28, if you've gone long at 27, your target's 32. If you've gone long at 28, your target's 33. All right, so highly likely, guys, the FDAX is going to push through to short range targets. NASDAQ, I've got nothing new for you guys yet. But nothing new. I don't think these guys are ready to turn yet, guys. I think we're going to turn on the hour like we do almost every day. We're going to turn on the hour and bolt to the high side. So let's just watch what's going on here, guys. I need the FDAX to sell down first, fail at Fibonacci, and then go. That's ideally where we're at. We're 40 minutes or so into the session. There's a sell down here waiting patiently for a trade that I can get in now safely. Ash, at the moment, mate, the sell on the S&P 500 was divine because of the size of the candle. Absolutely incredible. The flip side of that, you're probably waiting for the hourly turn, Ash, which is almost a given in this time slot.
Look, can you check the retracement on 15-minute chart, please? The NQ and the ES. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. There's going to be a number of Fibonacci's at play here, as I'm watching that little FDAX. Let me get rid of the detail on the chart. Okay, now interesting point, guys, if we can. Steve was talking about these guys selling down. So we've topped out at the 233 extension here. Guys. They may sell down, I'm not kidding, to the 100 extension. All right, they may sell all the way. Come on, arrow down here, please. All right, they may sell all the way down here. So, guys, if we get valid shorts, they're going to run a long way. All right, what's this FDAX doing? All right, now let me just double check. So 32. All right, so we've gone, guys. The FDAX is now sold down beyond that Fibonacci. So I can't now go long off this 50 fib back into the previous pivot. I need them to go back inside the previous pivot before I have another crack at them. What have we got? 326. How long are we in? 45. We're almost in 45, guys. Almost 45 minutes into the session. I think the hourly turn trade for everybody is probably going to be the most impressive today. Okay, the hourly turn will be brilliant. Now, in terms of Fibonacci, there will be a Fibonacci running, guys. So this is where there'll be a little bit of debate on Fibonacci. This is my NASDAQ 15-minute chart. And if I put that Fibonacci on, it's a 76 fib reversal. Okay, now if that's tagged the 90%, look at this. Guys, what we were talking about today, we said today is going to be all about reversing off the 90%ers. So if you did do your Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down, guys, and you use the 15-minute chart, they've clearly failed at the 90%. So some of you may have gone long over the top of the 76ers. Now, if you've done that, guys, it's already gone 20 ticks at least twice, Ahmed. So that's what you're doing. Okay, well done. Okay, well done. Greg, did you have a good trade? Remy plus 11 times 5 off the Delta. Greg, you got 10 times 5 and 20 times 5 on oil long. And I think oil is going to go a lot further to the high side if the Middle East doesn't calm down a little bit. Now, again, we're not going to get into a political debate about the Middle East, but guys, again, if an oil facility is hit in Iran by anybody, the oil will just skyrocket. I did note, guys, Nigeria is the 7th largest oil producer in the world. Nigeria has just turned around 2 days ago and said, we're not going to use the US dollar to pay for oil anymore. We're going to use Nigerian local currency. So guys, if you're watching the sort of the slow demise of the petrodollar, being the US dollar, there's a lot of effort going on around the world now for people to split away from the petrodollar. Now we are cruising, guys, into the last 15 minutes. Keith, they are all backing the bricks as well. Absolutely. We're cruising into the last, guys. We're cruising into the last 15 minutes. So for the FTX traders, at this stage, guys, I just move that away for a moment. At this stage, the FTX traders are probably not going to take another trade. The flip side of another trade, guys, the FTX, again, that's a stunning short. It's a stunning short. So if you're a stickler for rules, guys, you're not going to do anything. If you don't mind a stunning short, guys, the entry is at 310 and your first target is 305. Okay, I would suggest, based on the strength of the sellers on the FESX, guys, and the FDAX, it's probably going to sell. But guys, if you don't trade the last 15 minutes, again, don't let me romance you into a trade, please. Now for the NASDAQ traders, you guys have got a lower low on the NASDAQ. Okay, there's no doubt about that. S&P not quite yet. Lower low. Let me just have a quick look for you. Let me just have a quick look. Fibonacci goes up. Catch them on the way down. I would suggest, guys, for the NASDAQ traders, we're waiting for a tiny little green candle on both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, guys, to basically set up a static bar reversal. And I'd suggest it's probably better traded on the turn of the hour. Shelton, you had a negative on the FDAX. So did you trade off the pivot there? You trade off the pivot. Jürgen, how are you? Yes, that's what I believe. Jürgen, so Jürgen, I'm getting that correct. Jürgen, I believe it is going to, yes. I'd suggest what's going to happen, Jürgen, if I can. Note that we've set up a really, really lovely short. Okay, but the buyers are unable to, or the sellers are unable to break through the price level of 310. So the European markets are famous for turning at the 45-minute mark. Jürgen, perfect. So they're famous for turning at the 45-minute mark. So if we do get back above the previous pivot, which is just hiding here, right, and we get back above that 100% Fibonacci extension, which is really important, then the FDAX is highly likely to reverse, and it will probably move back to the 50 fib of the day. Okay, that's what it will probably do. Based on the strength of the buyers at this point in time, the buyers are 3.5 times stronger than the sellers on the previous candle. Right? So that means that I think, yes, they are going to buy. If they get above this little level here, Jürgen, okay, so if they can get above and hold above 327, then they're going to wander up to at least 342, at least 342. Now there was so -8 Shelton on the SBR. Okay, do you mean that you waited for the lower low to be created and then you've gone long over the top of the pivot? Gone long over the top of the pivot? I think that's probably what you mean. Okay, now typically, guys, first time we hit the pivot, the response is going to be really, really good. Second time, the response is a little bit less. Third time, that's the third time reversal, which normally we get stuck on. Now, if we do get a 4-point turning bar here, guys, on the FDAX, we've got 90 seconds to go. We can't get it on the FESX. We can get it on the FDAX, but it's going to be unlikely. I think they're going to blow all their volume. It does mean the FDAX traders, so please note for everybody, please note for everybody on the DAX and right across the board, guys, the FDAX traders could not be picked up short. All right, so again, the sellers are not willing to sell into that 133 fib extension. So now the buyers are saying, you know what, we're going to have a crack at this. If this is a CORPC candle, right, so if the bar closes outside the range of the previous candle, it's going to trigger this static bar reversal and that static bar reversal and probably go to the 50 fib. Right, so Jürgen, the answer is there's more chance of this going up than down mathematically. Now, not everyone's into maths, right? So I may not get that right, but at this point in time, I'm getting it right. Petros, 4 hour 50%. What did you have there, mate? So 331, 331. Yeah. Okay. 331. Oh, you're coming back the other way. Yeah, I think you might be coming back the other way. Okay, let me get that on as quickly as I can. Quick. So guys and girls, if there are any questions at all, particularly for those people that are brand new, now's a really good time to ask it because it's highly unlikely we're going to get another FDAX trade. Highly unlikely until the hourly turn. What have we got? We don't have a 4-point turning bar there. Just let me fix this. Template load. All right. Push apply, push OK. Perfect, mate. Great Fibonacci. So FDAX traders, again, you got a relatively strong bar here. It could have been a lot stronger. So at this stage, we're not going to go long again, guys, on the FDAX until the turn of the hour. And ideally, we're looking for a pivot-based reversal. Beginner traders, you're looking for a static entry. Okay, I know that's a lot of information, but we're good to go. Scotty, how are you?
Mate, can you check?
Techniques that you guys use, a good starting point. Any resources? Yes, Scott, if you go to the FAQs, so frequently asked questions on the Samurai website, so samuraidaytrading.com. If you go to the FAQs, a lot of our language is there. The flip side is we are literally doing an upgrade to the FAQs at the moment to bring on more language. Because we want to be doing this with TTP through until the end of the year as a minimum. And there will be a number of questions that come out from people going, what does this mean? What does that mean? And similar things. Okay. Now we are 9 minutes, guys, 9 minutes until the turn of the hour. I believe the turn of the hour, guys, is going to send everybody long. Andy, yes, correct. So guys,
Matt, can you check? Sorry, Matt, can you check the 4-hour extension? Thank you.
Yep. So guys, the US close live trading room starts at 3 a.m. Tokyo time, 4 p.m. Queensland time, 3 a.m. Tokyo, 4 a.m. Queensland, 5 a.m. Sydney. Until the US daylight saving changes, right, at the end of the month, and then it's going to move an hour later. So it'll be 4 a.m. Japan, 5 a.m. Queensland, 6 a.m. Sydney, 8 a.m. New Zealand. so guys, it is an incredible time to trade that US close. All right, so particularly if you're in Sydney and the American daylight savings is about to switch for you, that's brilliant. Rob, he's bloody funny guy. He's a funny guy. He's got a very dry sense of humor, and he loves his guitar, Rob. So if you're in his trading room tomorrow morning, ask him to sing you the song "My ATM" because he hates ATMs. Ash, his style is different. We basically follow the same principle, though, right? And that is identify the team that's failing and join the other team. Right. So that's all we're doing. Guys, the FDAX is setting up the most brilliant long. Like we love this turn of the hour, guys. It's slowly loading. This daily Fibonacci here, guys, for those that are on the S&P 500, this daily Fibonacci was the all-time high for a significant period of time. So what these S&P 500 traders are doing is basically saying, well, thanks for selling down off the brand new all-time high. This is an older all-time high. Now, if the S&P closes below that, naturally both American indexes are going to fall. Right. So at the moment, the NASDAQ traders, guys, very, very slim pickings on your trades. Right? Very, very slim pickings. We picked up the longs over here, guys. Again, for those that know what they're doing, and some of you had the opportunity to go short up the top here. Okay. Now, if you're looking at the NASDAQ going, Lockie, this is and the short. Okay, some of you picked up the short as well. Now, if you're looking at this going, Lockie, this is very, very frustrating. The American markets, particularly today, are quite technical to trade because of those 4 US news announcements at 9:30 p.m. tonight. So again, that's Tokyo time. So these markets will go absolutely ballistic at 9:30 p.m. I'll go ballistic at 9:30 p.m. So if it's 9:30 p.m. my time, 10:30 p.m. Queensland, 11:30 p.m. Sydney, As if you are in a trade around about the 9:15, 9:20 mark, Tokyo time, just be very careful. Just be very, very careful. Rob, so that's awesome, guys. So my Brokers Exposed, I did have that up before, actually. The Brokers Exposed book, guys, is ready for release on the Samurai site. We're just going through the last mechanics of that. So if you are, guys, if you're new to what we do and you don't understand why we trade futures versus Forex, for example, guys, again, I've written a book talking about the broker's business model in the Forex game and why it is not geared to your success. That could be quite an interesting little read for you guys. Quite an interesting little read. That's I've had, guys, I've co-authored an international bestseller. And again, that went really, really well. I'm expecting Brokers Exposed to probably go to the same level. Mind you, it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. We got there. Okay. So for the DAX traders, yes, mate, yeah. So the download is being worked out at the moment. So guys, we're just by the end of this week, that'll be available to download. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's available tomorrow, but it will be available by the end of the week. Guys, and the starter pack video series that talks about why we do what we do and talks about terminology. Scotty was asking before. The starter pack video series, guys, will be up early next week. Also a free download, so you'll be able to learn about what we do and why we do it and how we do it. These guys, wholesale reversals coming. Let's look at this. This cluster of candles here basically says we can't go down any further. We just need the American markets to agree. As now we are in the last 3 minutes. Right? So this is not Petros, you've had another positive night. So well done, mate. That's fantastic. Guys, this is not the time, not being rude. This is not the time to take a new trade. We want to make sure that we wait for the hour close and then go. Yeah, Ken, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I've got to say a massive thank you to the Samurai team in Singapore. They have been phenomenal, like really, really supportive. But yeah, really exciting. Just full stop, just exciting. So I'll just get on with the job of doing what I enjoy doing, and we go from there. Now, the flip side of that, we are now waiting for the hourly turn, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Walter, next Saturday would be pretty close to the mark, actually. So again, guys, everyone, we're upgrading your indicators at the moment. Right? So you're getting the more aggressive delta for the NASDAQ for the European Open. You're getting climactic volume indicators, all this kind of stuff. We are highly likely to roll over next weekend, next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday. Now, for everyone, guys, for everybody that's already in Samurai, I'm running an info webinar for you guys exactly 30 minutes after this session finishes for you. Any plans to TV or QT? Naveen, QT. Yeah, so I've been speaking to the coders yesterday about coding for Quant Tower. We've already got a number of people on Quant Tower. It's going very, very well for them. So therefore I'd suggest not too far from now, I'll be offering indicators on QT as well. Rob, in your email, mate, in your email. So everybody, guys, everybody at Samurai has been emailed a link for tonight. It's just a quick powwow. Just let me check some news in the background, guys. Just hold on 1 second. Okay, Walter, just flicked you a message. So guys, while we wait for the markets to do what they're doing, we've got 50 seconds until the hour turns. What I'm seeing, guys, on NASDAQ is I'm obviously seeing everybody on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 fail. Again, the sellers are failing to go down, the buyers are failing to go up. This will be a byproduct of the news we're about to head into at 9:30 p.m. It's a while away, guys, but they're a little bit sensitive to it. What we'd be looking for is a lower low. So we'd be looking for a lower low. And then effectively joining the buyers, provided that meets your trading plan. For the FDAX, we need to close above the previous pivot. Thank you, Matt. I'll go and have a look. We need to close above the previous pivot and stay above the previous pivot inside the new hour in order to get a reversal. So for the FDAX traders, just watch very, very closely. See what they do. We're still waiting for an answer. Okay, FDAX, they've gapped onto the pivot, which means we must get a lower low. Guys, we're looking for a second tier reversal on the FDAX before we go long. Now, the annoying thing about the hourly change, guys, is that if they decide to turn and run without us, if they do decide to do that, it can be a little bit annoying. Just get rid of that one. So today, guys, in the spectrum to yesterday and the day before, today's been very, very quiet on the markets. We haven't actually got a lot of trades yet. And that's because the US is ultimately waiting for high impact news. This typically only happens once a month on a Thursday. Of course, it would have to be today. Yeah, we're right on, guys. We're right on, as Ahmed has said, we're right on these 4-hour extensions. So the little NASDAQ here, yeah, it's right here. So the little NASDAQ, guys, will be trying to work out that 100% extension just there. It's just there. All right, now, what are these guys up to? What is SBR on FTX? Jürgen, that's an SBR, static bar reversal. So there's a mathematical algorithm running behind the charts for us that alerts us to whether there's trades setting up. SBR is an algorithm, stands for static bar reversal. Now, what does that ultimately mean? Is that we're basically looking at SBRs around about 7 filters. The delta here, that delta there, saying buy at that point, there's around 17 filters in that one there. So suffice to say, again, guys, we wanted them to buy on the hour. If you're an aggressive FDAX trader, there's a long at 335. Okay, if you're aggressive. Now, what do I mean by that, guys? Again, they gap down onto the pivot. So if you're a little bit sensitive to trades, we're going to wait for them to close above the pivot, and then we're going to try and enter at that delta at 335. Now. Walter, did you get my... No, Walter, not at all. No, I have made sure that that will not happen to you, mate. So you are very safe. so, mate, I've got you back, right? I've got you back on that one. I've got you back on that one. All right, so that mustard green candle, for those that don't normally watch what we do, the mustard green candle is a climactic candle. So the buyers are using a ridiculous amount of volume to try and move this market up, and it's not going very well for them. At the moment, guys, the sellers own the stair step, so these markets are very confused. Dave, you got plus 15 on the NQ, so that would be plus 15 times 5, mate, on the SBR on NQ. So you traded that SBR just there. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay, mate. Well done. Now, guys, for the junior traders, what I was looking for is the market to push down, create a lower low, and then enable us to take the static bars long. The flip side of that is we didn't get the lower low. So generally speaking, the static bars will go far enough to pay a short range target, but generally won't be the massive running rally that we were expecting. FDAX, your volume, all right? So for those that are watching FDAX very closely, your volume is now down into the hundreds. So we just have to keep an eye on that. For those people that are not used to this session, if the FDAX volume drops down into the low 200s, generally if it's under 300, we start to keep a very, very close eye on what's going on. So keep a very close eye. Now, this is a very strong buying candle, guys, that's about to close on the FDAX. Potentially, we'll just watch the volume. Guys, it's going to open up ideally the potential for that red static bar reversal long, right? So if we close a nice strong green candle in 36 seconds, so a nice strong green candle, I want it to have a strength rating Ideally, I want then for the sellers to sell underneath, guys, the sellers to sell underneath the SBR entry point, which is 33, where they're going to go and try and go long at 33, hit the delta at 35, hit the next delta at 38. Now that's asking a lot. that's asking the market to be really, really nice to us. Right, so I'm just getting in an order ready in the background. So what I'm targeting, guys, is again with all of those filters in place. Okay, with all of those filters in place, I need the sellers to sell down, guys, under 33. My backup order is 35. All right, so for the FX traders, I want you to sell down just a little bit, please. Oh, they're not going to. Okay. If you can hold the risk, guys, on the FX and you're not being fussy, you can pick up the long, guys, either of the deltas, guys, even the delta at 38. Okay, so I don't know how you pull the FX apart here. I wanted to get filled on that delta at 335. If you filled at 335, guys, they're already at your first target of 340. Now, if you've got filled on the higher delta at 38, right, your first target is 43. Okay, now let me just double check that 43 for you. I don't think there's going to be an issue there. Let me just double check. I don't think there's an issue. Let me work on this as quickly as I can. That goes like that. Okay, so if you are long, guys, worst case scenario on FDAX at 38. Okay, 38. I don't think there's going to be a problem getting to 43. Okay, I don't think there's going to be a problem getting to 43. The lower delta was the better entry, guys. Come on, Daxy. Come on. Off you go, please. I've got a couple of contracts hiding here, guys, at 43. Come on. Boom. Awesome. So if you are long, guys, if you're long on that delta there, guys, the higher of the deltas at 38, your target is 43. I've just gone through my targets, guys. So therefore, now sitting at 1,014 US and 40 cents. Right? So 1,014 and 40. So if you've taken similar trades to me today, guys, you should be on 2 contracts. You should be sitting up around about that level now. All right. So did anyone else get the delta with me, or am I the only one? Matt, 5 times 6. Well done, mate. That's brilliant. Okay, so you got the delta as well. Okay, good. Now, what I wanted, guys, what I wanted is a strong candle. All right, what I got here. Can everyone see that 6 rating underneath the candle? I said I want a really, really strong candle with a strong rating. Anything over 3 is sexy, and that's 6. That basically means that any delta that's been created, guys, in the last 15 minutes is likely to go straight through its targets. These guys are probably going to push to the 55th of the day. So the longer range reversal traders, as the longer range traders, are actually doing really, really well at this point in time. All right. So you guys are doing okay. Suzanne, Matt, you got it as well. No, Matt has spoken to you as well. Suzanne, it's I should say Suzanne, what is it? Trading is about waiting for the perfect setup. And again, now, of course, we've got all these indicators that tell us where to enter and where to exit and similar things. But that's the lesson, guys, on the DAX is I wanted a strength rating on this candle. Okay, I wanted them to show us how strong they are. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so that little strength rating underneath the candle there, basically anything over 3 is hilarious, and we got a 6. So that basically means the buyers have completely switched the momentum of the market. So for those that don't know what that means, it means the buyers are 6 times stronger on that candle than they were on the previous candle. So it means the buyers will take control of the market for at least 5 minutes. All right, now our average time in trade on the FDAX is well under 5 minutes. So therefore that's just gone to target. So you guys, if you did pick up this later delta there, so if you picked up that one at 40, it's gone to 45. If you picked up the lower one at 38, it's gone to the target. If you picked up the lower one, it's gone to target. Okay, now we'll just wait for the next signal to set. I think for the NASDAQ traders, I think we're looking at shorts. That's a very, very strange price movement, that one. Okay, so with this candle coming in, guys, with this candle coming in here now on the NASDAQ, again, you may be about to pick up a short. Guys, we're 35 seconds away they're probably going to go for the 90% fib as a minimum. Okay. Do we just sign off the Samurai Day trading? Aaron, do we just? Yes, 100%, Aaron. 100%. 100%. Absolutely correct. Mate, and the rest will be done for you. Samurai team is proving to be dynamite, brilliant in their support for everybody. Now we've got, guys. So what do I want? Nasdaq. I wanted a candle that closed outside the range of the previous candle. I don't have that. So in fact, the Nasdaq traders are looking for a long, not a short. Right. So you guys are looking to buy the market. Now I need your Fibonacci on. Okay. If for the Nasdaq traders, guys, we sell underneath these 76s, like well underneath the 76s, okay, which we've now done, your order would be long over the top of the 76s because your risk control point, okay, it's starting to get really tight on the Nasdaq, right? So your risk control point is actually 420, 420. Now, what does that mean? It means if you trade off the 76 fibs, if you do that, then the moment the buyers even show they're interested, it's going to control your risk. Because it looks like, again, the Europeans may have stopped buying. And if they've stopped buying, everyone's just going to turn. And again, today it's all about, guys, it's all about early buy, then sell hard to the downside. Now, I'm just watching very closely what these guys do. We've obviously gone well below the 76s now. It's gone well below the 76s. We do need, let me just have a look here. Okay, we do need these guys to sell down. All right, so they're creating lower lows. So if you're waiting for the sellers to push down, create a lower low, and then come back through, let me put that Fibonacci back on for you. Let me put that Fibonacci back on. Fibonacci looks like that. Okay, this lower low, they would have to blow their volume up here on NASDAQ, which they're doing now. So guys, some of you may be looking at a long over the top of the 90% fib, which would be an entry, guys, again, around about the 1550 mark. But this is only for those that reverse off Fibonacci retracements, guys. This is a dynamic entry. It is not a static entry. Okay, for the static entry traders, you're going to have to wait for this candle to close before you would put an entry on. Okay, so static versus dynamic it's effectively super careful versus slightly less careful. Okay, so super careful versus slightly less careful. Let me just, so that price level, guys, of 1550. That's 1550. We spoke today about the 90% fib. If we close below this 90% Fibonacci, right, so this is the bigger one running across the chart. If we close below that, then these guys are just going to keep selling and selling and selling into the news, right? So they must think the US news is going to be quite negative. Now, let me just watch very closely here. We knew the markets were angry. NASDAQ, you don't have a pivot-based reversal, guys. You guys literally, if we get a solid candle closing, they're going to tumble. Now, the flip side of the tumble is if you're looking to enter on the market at, okay, 415.50, you're waiting for these sellers to blow all their volume up. Okay, and then we're looking for an entry. Now, at the moment, I've got my lower low. Just trying to read, guys, trying to read what they're doing on the larger charts. It'll be down, probably down to the S&P 500. Let's see what I'm going to do with the S&P. These guys, you went there. So Ken, obviously, guys, the opposite is Ken's gone short on the delta outside the range of the really, really strong candle, and that's gone really, really well. As if the S&P 500 is nowhere near a key market Fibonacci, the NASDAQ may just reverse here, as in short sell. And if it does, it's going to move relatively quickly. Okay, so for those that are waiting to enter, guys, long at 415.50, right? The market is not going to give you that long. Okay, it's not going to give you that long. We are likely to pick up a short here. Now, hang on, they may just, okay, let's just, all right. Now, again, guys, you can still put your entry on at 415.50 if that is your trading style. All right, you can still put it on there. Tim, you had a great session. Sounds great. So, guys, if you're going to go long at 415.50, right, that's the price point that I've put on the black line on the chart. If you are happy to go long there, guys, because that's your trading style, okay, your risk control point, right? Your risk control point is 18. Okay, so let me bring this down for you. So your first target, guys, your first target is 18. Okay, your first target is 18, which is this black line here. That's your first target, guys. And we're going to, let me do some Fibonacci for you to make sure that expectation's okay, guys. We've just got to be careful of the counter Fibonacci. Okay, perfect. So if you are long, guys, at the price I put on the chart, guys, at 15.50, your first target is 18. You've gone through your target, right? You've gone through your target. Now, what you need to do, guys, is make sure that you're not carrying any risk on your long range targets, please. Ash, finally got one. Well done, mate. So please, 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 guys, please, 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 everybody understand, right, that the sellers will try and sell off this red Fibonacci here, which is what they're doing right now. Have a look at that to the tick. So if you've gone long, guys, at 15.5, your first target is 18 and it's gone through its targets. No questions asked. You've been paid. You've then controlled your risk to 0 or positive, and as a result of that, it may now have taken you out at a fraction. Or what you've done is say, Lockie, I'm going to put my targets before the 50 fib. So if it doesn't run, it doesn't matter. Okay, this is obviously the benefit of trading with Fibonacci's. Ahmed, that's a beautiful trade. But so you've gone long off the 133 fib extension off the 4-hour chart, which is an absolutely brilliant level. Now, as if we pick up a static bar reversal long, FDAX, sorry, I had you guys covered up. All right, but no trades on the FDAX at this point in time. If for the NASDAQ traders, okay, guys, we end up with a ratio-based static bar reversal long. If we close over the top of that 50%, it's probably going to go to the 76s, okay, which is all the way up here. All right, so there might be a little bit more profit potential on the NASDAQ. Okay, mind you, guys, if you've gone long at 1550, you've gone through your first target. Now, not very sexy on the NASDAQ today, guys. Not very sexy. Again, your volatility is under 40. So it'll be really happy, guys, to play sort of 10, 12, and 14 tick targets very, very easily. The longer range targets, we've got to wait for a static entry. Just some ticks in the pre-market for me. Andy, mate, brilliant. The NASDAQ, guys, has been really, really hard to trade today. Mind you, guys, having been around trading for a long time, if we get a really, really sort of technical day on the Thursday, Friday is normally a walk in the park. Okay, Friday is normally hilarious. FDAX, you guys have gone okay today. Okay, you guys have gone okay today. You've had, now I didn't call that trade. Okay, I didn't call that trade. That was Heike's trade. So you guys have had at least 1, potentially 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So FDAX, you've had, depending on how you trade, guys, you've had up to 8 trades. Okay, now again, one of you had a loss as they came through here. Were we able to go and get the loss back? Ash, it'll be me tomorrow, I believe. I'll be me tomorrow. So I'll be running the LTR tomorrow. If my voice doesn't hold up, mate, I've asked the boys to be on standby. Matt, you got 5 of 5 trades today. Oh, that's huge, mate. 5 trades, 5 wins. Matt, well done, mate. That's fantastic. Well done. That's awesome stat. Yeah, so guys, the boys are being warned out to back me up tomorrow if there's a problem. And we go from there. Now, again, guys, if you again watching what we're doing, if you're a seasoned NASDAQ trader, the NASDAQ's been a little bit difficult to trade today. We've picked up the long over here on the left-hand side, if that's your trading style. Some of you went short off the pivot. That's gone really well. Everyone had an opportunity, depending on how fast you trade, to go short here. That one's gone around about 38 ticks towards a 20 tick target. Daniel got the delta on the way down, which is brilliant. And then we had this big sell candle. Ken's got the short, guys, and some of you've got the long. So bit of a mix, guys, a bit of a mixed bag, and that we didn't get a big runner on the Nasdaq today. But the reason we haven't got the big runner so far is because of this 9:30 p.m. news. Okay, that's the reason. And guys, that block of four red flag US news announcements typically occurs one Thursday of the calendar month. Okay, so again, that doesn't plague us every Thursday. That just happens to be this Thursday. We've got everybody talking and having a crack at what's going on. Now for the DAX traders at this stage, guys, sell, buy, sell. Okay, the sellers still own the stair step. Eyes on FDAX. Right, sellers still own the stair step. That means we're looking for buying trades, guys. They're going to have to be very impressive, and I'll tell you why. The volume down here is now into the mid hundreds. That is not where it needs to be. Okay, it's in the mid hundreds. That means the FDAX traders are probably pulling up stumps for the day. Now, it was we had young Jurgen. Now, we said that the FDAX was going to slowly climb its way back up. Are you long on the FDAX? And if you are, mate, are you out already? Are you long for longer range targets? So, Jurgen, I'm glad that when you asked, is the FDAX going down any further? I said, no, it's going to turn and go back the other way. I'm quite happy with that. Jurgen, I'd love to know, you in a long range trade, how are you pulling that apart? That'd be fantastic. KP, I met for the day. See you all a bit later. So yeah, guys, just a reminder for the samurais, I am running a webinar in 39 minutes from now. It is in your email. So you will have received an email. If you're part of Samurai, you would have got an email. Guys, just a quick update on your indicators, quick indicator update. And a couple of key messages, guys, Jurgen, fighting with my system. Okay, got it. SBR long valid. Ash. Let me just have a look, mate. Ash, are you talking the SBR long on S&P 500? Because, mate, what you've got is a potential concern. All right, so your new Fibonacci runs from the top to the bottom. So if we now draw a Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up, your SBR from over here is straight into the 50 fib of the new micro trend. So again, I personally wouldn't trade that because of that 50 fib. If we do get the buyers pushing in and they close back over the top of the 50 fib, then I would be looking for the static bar reversal. Are you sweating a little? Okay. Mate, what platform are you using, Jurgen? What platform are you using? Because if your platform turned itself off, that's not very that's not funny. And I've had that happen before. It's not funny at all. As much as I'm not being rude, I'm not laughing. I have had that happen before. It's your internet, right? Okay, all right, got it. All right. All right, here we go. So for the Nasdaq traders, guys, note that again, we've gone long, guys, off the 90% Fibonacci. We've gone long to a very, very tight target and risk control point. The market has gone over our target and risk control point twice, guys, and now the sellers are coming back in. So this is one reason why, guys, we always have tight risk control points against sellers when the sellers are angry, right? Which they're cranky pants at the moment. Very technical trading term. Now, for the FDAX, at this stage, your volume, guys, may rule you out of a trade, may rule you out. Let's have a look. If the sellers were to sell down on the FDAX, guys, below this point here, okay, below that low point there, the sellers will have stolen the stair step. What we would be looking for is we were looking for the sellers to push down under the previous pivot, and we may pick up a pivot-based reversal. Now, if Jurgen is still long, it's a good idea that these sellers can't even get to the previous pivot. We don't want them to get there. Okay, we don't want them to get there. So. Now, mind you, guys, again, if the volume is under 300 on the FDAX, I think the FDAX traders may be done for the day. But as has just been reported, some of the FDAX traders, guys, have done 5 trades, 5 wins. That's a great result for the day. The market's been really technical. It's just technically crappy waiting for this news, but that's all right. Now, Nasdaq traders at this stage, S&P, I've got no new trades for you simply because we're below that 50 fib, as Ash was asking before. Nasdaq, you've got no new trades, Nasdaq. So for the Nasdaq traders, today's a bit of a non-event, guys, a bit of a non-event. What will probably occur, guys, what will probably occur is we did say at the start of the session, today is all about the 90% Fibonacci's. If those sellers can't sell below the 90% Fibonacci again, they're highly likely the buyers will eventually get sick of this and push up to the 50 fib. If they get above that, they're going to push up here and off we go. So, guys, depending on how you trade, some of you may have seen the lower low get created at the 90%. Let me get rid of that Fibonacci for a moment. Some of you may have seen that 90% failure and said, you know what, Lockie, I'm going to go long over the top of the 90 once again with tight targets and tight risk control. Guys, you may have done that. That's a double touch reversal there with a lower low. So again, the Fibonacci is proving to be amazing today. If you have done that, guys, if you have done that, just be aware that today is ruled by Fibonacci. So you're going to have to draw a Fibonacci down. Okay, so make sure the spine of the Fibonacci is left to right. Otherwise, it'll be upside down. Draw your Fibonacci down in order to catch them on the way up. And again, the buyers are probably going to run out of steam at that 50 fib. So if you have gone long at the same price point again, guys, at 1550, if you've gone long at 1550, your first target is 18 and it's just gone through 18s again. Ash, you're happy with your 10 ticks on NASDAQ? Mate, it is $50 US. It's not the biggest trade in the world, but you've finished another session profitable. You were patient, you were disciplined, you did what you were told. And today has been a really difficult day, guys. It's been a really difficult day, and yet you're navigating it quite well. You're doing great, guys. You're doing great. Now, again, some of you may be long on the NASDAQ for longer range targets. Okay, so the nemesis will be this 50 fib. All right, so if the buyers push through that 50 fib, they're going to go to those 76s. Right, so if they tag, so you watch them, guys, you watch them, they'll tell you how serious they are. They're going to hit the Fibonacci 3 times. So they've hit it twice. Just wait for the third hit. So if they push, guys, a third time and fail, the buyers have given up. Okay, so again, this is they do it every day. This is no surprise at all. So I'm waiting for the third push. All right, now the NASDAQ might embarrass me now by only doing 2 pushes. Now here comes the third push. Come on. So this is the third push. Right, let's see what they do, guys. If the sellers push the buyers, I'm going to say, if the sellers push the buyers back, guys, it's 3 touches and the buyers are going to give up. But if the buyers push through on the third time and smash the sellers, guys, they're going to go straight to here. Right, so if you are long on the NASDAQ, off this 90%, guys, or you've seen the buyers come through and you've gone long off this static bar reversal potentially, guys, we're using the same process again, 10 to 12 tick risk control points, let your profit run, and when the buyers run into a level and fail 3 times, then you would bring your stop loss up and lock in all your profits. Jürgen, okay, well done. So I want to build great psychology. Jürgen, it's a really, really good point. Jürgen, the only way, my humble opinion, to build a positive psychology around trading is get it right time after time after time. Now, I've taken 2 trades today. I've taken 2 trades today. They've all gone to target. I'm sitting at $1,000 US. I've followed my trading plan that I've been following for the last 4 years. I've done exactly what I've done for the last 4 years, and I've been paid again. So I've got 4 years of positive trades. I've had a couple of negatives, but 4 years of positive trades. And people ask, why are you positive? You know, why have you got such a psychology? It's because I only take very specific trades. I love the turn of the hour. I love static bar reversals. And I love the opening candle failing at the 133 fib. That's kind of my thing. That's my thing. Okay, so those that are long on the NASDAQ, guys, I know there's some of you that are long out there off this 90%. If you're long, watch for 3 touches of those 76s. All right, you can't short off the 76s, guys, but you've touched once. Okay, you've touched once. Okay, this is when you start to bring your stop loss up and lock in a big chunk of profit. Your risk to reward ratio is massively in your favor. Guys, there's the second touch, and the third touch looks like it's about to fail. All right, so at this point in time, your stop loss on the NASDAQ, guys, if you're long, bring it right up nice and high. So effectively, you're long down here, say around about the, call it the 15 mark, it's 10, 20, at least your stop loss is at least 30 ticks into profit now. You've got no risk. Guys, it's basically just Hail Mary to the high side if we do get that. Well done, mate. Well done. That's brilliant. Keith, well done. Kay, your KPI's done as well. Okay, so guys, we're right at the end of the session. I'm gonna have to turn my camera back on. I do believe Arlen is out there somewhere in the world.
I am. I always am.
Perfect. So Arlen, in summary, today's been really technical, like really hard to trade on the NASDAQ and the S&P. The FDAX, bit of a walk in the park again. The reason it was so easy on Europe is because we've got US-based news coming later on, so the US traders are a little bit fickle. Come 9:30 p.m. Tokyo time, the American markets are going to go nuts. No one's going to care about Europe, and it all starts again tomorrow. So
Everything becomes very crazy right now, isn't it? Coming towards elections and everything. It's becoming really crazy, guys. I'm having some technical issues for some reason, so you cannot see me, but I'm just gonna say thank you so much again, Lachlan. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all your help. Thank you everyone for joining us online and joining us here in our Zoom chat. Guys, whoever is interested in joining the next session to interact also with Lachlan, ask questions, don't forget to register to the next week session. And we'll see you again next week, maybe with cool stuff happening. I don't know, Lachlan. Is it funny time? Maybe.
Maybe something. So guys and girls, for the samurais, guys, you've got your webinar in half an hour. You've got a link in your email. For everybody else, I will see you next Thursday. Guys, let's just do our best to make as much money as we possibly can, follow the plan, stay disciplined, build a great psychology. And Arlen, and to the TTP team, thank you for having me. Really exciting. And let's just keep going as best as we possibly can and educate everyone. So thank you.
Rock and roll.